teams coming into this that are 2-0, and one of them is going to join Falcons in that undefeated 3-0, and one of them is going to take an L here. We already heard the panel. They are back in BetBoom pretty heavily after drafts. I mean, I even said I thought at the very beginning of this series, thought that BetBoom was going to take it. Avery, give me a little counterbalance here. What does Shopify have going for them that's good?
They have the highest KDA player of the tournament.
They do indeed.
Yo Paj, number 1 at around 9.7. That is just ridiculous for this late in a tournament with a lot of matches. You know who's number 2?
Arteezy?
GPK at around 8.5. You know who's number 3?
Arteezy?
Nightfall. And you know who's number 4?
Arteezy?
It's Arteezy, that's right. So this game has all 4 of the top 4 KDA players of the tournament, and they're both the mid and carry from their respective teams.
Sure.
So I think that says a lot about how well these two teams are playing right now.
Yep.
And that they're both teams that play around that 1 and 2 to be the primary killers and damage dealers. They put a lot of resources, a lot of protection into the respective 1 and 2s, and they want them to carry the game. They want them to pop off in the late game. The 1v9, as Arteezy put it, these are both teams very capable of getting there. I do think BetBoom has looked a bit more consistent getting to that point. But like I said, if there's a team in this tournament with a lot of surprise momentum, it's probably Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, certainly. I quite like how Shopify looks right now. But I do think that BetBoom just looks a little bit better, and as you said, a little bit more consistent. But we'll see what Shopify does to shut down the Viper. They're immediately going to tri-lane. BetBoom are tri-laning them back. They are managing to get the first blood, but Arteezy is going to die for it. So a trade-off to the favor of Shopify for sure, but it does say something about the way that they want to keep Arteezy Bloodseeker down.
This is a good trade for Artur. He'll happily take the first blood gold. This is an old Shopify trick. I mean, Artur loves these tri-lanes when they can get away with them, particularly when they have the favorable one-on-one, which Centaur, he will absolutely do fine in this one-on-one. It's favorable for him first, the Sven, though Nightfall might not mind the solo XP, but it's more about shutting down this Viper, right? You get this tri-lane versus a hero that does not respond well to it, really wants that 2-on-2 or 1-on-1 action where you can abuse an enemy carry. If you get a couple quick kills, you can skew some of these lanes, and then your laning phase just goes better versus a lane dominator on the Viper who really wants that early game to go his way. So kind of a nice little heads-up play. Got him a little bit of a boost on the lane. Nothing major, but hey, first blood for the Bloodseeker in a lane he would not have gotten it otherwise.
Toronto in some trouble, cuts through the trees, but will be cut down by Saberlight. That was a BetBoom pause, but Saberlight will take full advantage of it.
BetBoom. Back to the pauses. They've had a lot of issues so far. I feel for them. No fun when your game momentum gets skewed like this. And he TP'd down there with the Mirana, so that's a rough death for Toronto. Wasn't level 2. Missed some XP because of the tri-lane. TP's down, dies. Now he's going to have to walk back out. So more solo XP for Nightfall. Guess the trash
Good
talk is going to
players
start
sent go
early here.
Wow.
I mean, I respect that, though. Because if you're going to talk trash, you got to talk trash when you're the one getting beat down. Just as much as when you're the one doing the beatdown. You know?
Do you think Tokyo is actually serious when he's calling Saberlight a good player?
No, I don't think he is, Austin. I don't think he's very serious at all.
Bump back in. Batrider Centaur is getting some good pressure in this lane, that's for sure.
I feel like Tokyo is one of those guys who doesn't have actual bad blood, but it's like, yeah, I kind of think you suck. You know?
Yeah.
He's got maybe a little ego, maybe a little confidence.
Ego.
You know?
It's what winning a TI will do to you.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, you know what, Saberlight, come 1v1 me mid, man. We'll see how it goes. So far, it's GPK coming out ahead of everybody, though.
Yeah, that 1v1 mid is going very well.
Centaur stomp on Centaur.
It's pretty nice. They're going to get a lot of damage on Nightfall as he backs away. No real threat of dying, but the harassment is adding up. Theolacor wants to make a break for the Lotus. Outclicked by Tokyo.
Damn. This guy's a good player.
Good player. That's what he should all chat at him.
Well, yeah, this Timbersaw is going to have free farm here, and it is a free farm Timber lane. We'll see what GBK can do with it, because I think he can affect the map a bit sooner than the Invoker can. Plus, Yopaj is really willing to, TP and join fights reaction-wise, but I mean, he's full of Quas Wex. It's doable. It's just he's not offering the most damage in this early game. Usually you just want to mana burn the enemy hero mid, you remove his rotation potential, you trade farm, you're happy getting the solo levels, play for the later portions of the game. This could be an explosive Timbersaw.
I'll give you another little bump for Shopify Rebellion.
Okay.
The Yopaj Invoker, that is his second winningest hero that he has in his roster. So only to be outdone by, actually not even winningest. I guess Morphling outdoes it on win percentage, but his Invoker, very, very strong.
He's just a spellcaster through and through.
Yeah, he is.
And it's cool to see him thriving again, because he is a very fun player to watch when he is on.
Yep.
So far, he's been on.
And it's also going to be, like, he's probably going to be building Spirit Vessel, right? Which will try and shut down this Timbersaw post-laning phase, because certainly not doing it right now.
That Vessel can be a mixed bag. It's super dependent on when you get it. I also think this is a game you want the Midas on Invoker at some point, because you are a lot of that scale into these 3 cores in the late game. Like, you need a strong presence those later fights, which means you need the levels. That's really what it's about here. So we'll see. You can also just go Urn into the Midas. You can go Vessel into the Midas. You can go Vessel into Hurricane Pike, some of these other random builds. Witchblade, an option as well. If you have just a really fast game, Vessel into Witchblade could do some serious damage here. But again, it's all about when you get there and how many fights you can take with it. Otherwise, that item is just dead. And the Tri-Lane returns to gank this Viper.
Tossed over, missed the Avalanche, who's trying to get as many heroes stunned as possible so the Viper could output some damage before he dies. But again, Miro gets run down without getting a kill.
Again, good conceptual understanding of this map right now. That is the best target for Shopify to gank. The Centaur can easily be left alone. There's not going to be much pressure going back into him from the Mirana. You'll chip at him, but you're not going to force him completely off the lane. You're unlikely to kill him here, and that is a lot of XP going towards that Bloodseeker, who is still top of the charts here in terms of the start off that first blood. Arteezy in a good position. 6-minute power rune. Everybody coming for it. And it'll be haste for the bat. That is a nice rune.
Yeah, especially since Save was trying to go for it too. Nice toss back there. And GPK will come in and try and help, and almost even kills the Liqueur, though Toronto Tokyo wasn't close enough to go for an arrow or anything.
Where does he go from here?
I think he's trying to go for... Oh.
I mean, you can't get up that hill anywhere, so... Yeah, he'll just TP out, trade Wisdom runes here. And if you're Shopify... I mean, you're either just going to continue to gank the Viper, you're trying to create a little pressure on this Fen with a Yopaj rotation that doesn't work. He wants Urn charges right now. That's the biggest thing on the map. Your BetBoom, you just don't want to give this Invoker an opening, and you're pretty content farming for a little bit. Again, your playmakers are really the Tiny and the Timber. So if GPK wants to rotate, you can play around that. But otherwise, you're kind of playing for save to set stuff up. And whenever you have these static offlaners like Viper, Necro, Razor, you're probably playing a slower early game. A little stacking doesn't hurt, though. They're going to try on him.
Chain stun, but Saberlight seems to be too tanky. At least they can kind of push him out, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but...
I mean, he's a good player. You're not just going to kill a good player like that.
1 stun, 2 stun, and a bunch of right clicks.
Yeah,
Seen it happen
takes
to
more
few players.
Takes more to kill a good, maybe a bad player.
Well, the Viper finally got him. I wasn't sure if he was actually going to get it there for a second, but the Viper finally did his job, which was shutting down the Bloodseeker. I'm not saying he was playing poorly, just more so the fact that he kept getting tri-laned and stuff. He couldn't actually keep Arteezy down, which is what the pick was supposed to do for you.
That feels good. You got that return kill. A lot of gold. And then once more, GPK will not get a rune here. 3 heroes from Shopify securing it. The downside is Invoker just doesn't use power runes. compared to almost any other mid. So you're securing these runes, you're taking them away from the Timber. That limits GPK's rotation potential as resources versus EMP, but you can't really use them for much. And it'll go back top. The tri-lane continues. There's not much else to do in this early game for Shopify, I guess. Otherwise, you leave this Bloodseeker alone, he just dies.
Yeah, but this isn't a low-level Viper you're fighting into anymore. This is very dangerous. Try and contest this guy on even grounds. They need the Invoker. They need that fourth hero, but GPK is also going to show up and even the odds and make it very favorable for BetBoom.
This Viper is way too hard to fight into right now. BetBoom know it. They're just bringing the numbers behind Miro. And Invoker just doesn't do anything in these fights. Still doesn't have earn charges. He's only level 7. I mean, your EMP is okay, but again, you're not offering the damage, and Rubik Bat are not picking it up either. Really big early game damage problems for this Shopify lineup, and they're getting caught in a lot of skirmishes right now.
Nice toss over straight into the hands of GPK. And Whirling Death, a big burst of damage.
These are those rotations you want to see from the Timber Saw. Timber and Tiny combining to make stuff happen, while Nightfall just free farms. This early game has swung a lot, and BetBoom are taking full control of it.
I'll be honest, this is kind of what I expected out of this series. I mean, BetBoom, I think BetBoom versus almost any team, you're expecting them to walk away with a laning phase advantage. Now,
very strong.
Fortunately, Shopify, this version of Shopify seems a lot better at bouncing back from bad lanes.
That's true. That's very true. It's not nearly all in on a laning phase dominant performance to get the victory.
Yep.
They have more ways to achieve that now. So, yeah. Though that's still ingrained in my brain. I feel like I look at this team and they're losing lanes. I'm like, it's over.
Yes.
Just go next.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it was, you know.
I have orders.
They've had some comebacks. They've had some crazy wins as well.
Yeah.
That win yesterday versus Aurora. I mean, see what they can do here, as they will be behind a bit, but certainly not out of reach. And I mean, sometimes these early games with Invoker can be like this. They're a little staticky, a little slow. You feel like the Invoker's falling behind on net worth, but then you get that one random fight into the Midas, and suddenly you're back. This hero can take very weird trajectories. They're going to poke Nightfall, try and get a reaction. Definitely not a committed play, but
got him on the
chain
stun. Very nice. Batrider, no influence there. And without that damage, they can't really threaten Nightfall, even as they brought Kitrak here.
I don't know about you, but I feel like Sven has been the most obnoxious safe lane in this meta in terms of trying to go on him.
Yeah, it's, I think him and then Lifestealer.
I'd rather go on the Lifestealer than this hero at this point, to be honest. Like, maybe you get some cheeky stun chain on the Lifestealer and he dies. This hero, you stun him 4 times, he just sits there.
Yeah.
Like, his HP ramps up way too fast with just Tread's Bracer and the extra strength from the cleave.
And I think what's scarier is if you go on Sven and miss, like, he has a chance to kill you back, whereas Lifestealer early on can't quite do that. We see that damage going to work.
This safe lane is causing Shopify problems. They brought everybody down there, by the way. I mean, even Arteezy and Yopaj were lingering, but they're just staring down the lane at a hero that you cannot do anything to. And on the flip side, Arteezy's getting kicked out of lane by this solo Viper. He's a 900 HP, you know, Agi hero, whatever. It's just not nearly as fair. BetBoom taking advantage of both side lanes here, creating a brick wall. There's nothing to run into, and when you can't get this skirmish going for those earn charges on the Invoker, you're missing so much damage and value.
Yeah. And if you can't win those side lanes, then I think naturally you look to mid, but it's a mid Timber Saw. Like, that boy is beefy. He is not an easy gank for Rubik Batrider to rotate in and threaten.
And I don't think BetBoom care about losing all these power runes too much. I mean, they'd be good on the Timber, but again, they're not doing anything for this Invoker. So, whatever. If you're going to commit the tri-lane mid for a 6, 8, 10-minute power rune, which is what's happened, they're just going to keep farming. They'll put the Tiny mid. He'll soak up some creeps. Work towards that blink. There's not a team afraid to farm their supports up and scale into that late game. And they are in a prime position to do it. It's just going to ramp up the pressure here for Shopify Rebellion to get something done. Because I don't think you're happy trading farm between Bloodseeker or Sven, given this kind of start.
No, certainly not. Who is going to have Echo Saber soon. And that, like, also that progression of Sven, Mask of Madness, the Echo Saber, and like, man, okay, you've got a ton of mana and regen, you've got the HP sustain off the lifesteal. You're just able to hit creeps nonstop, and I feel like because you break apart the Echo Saber to get that fast BKB, you have such a limited window to keep this guy, from getting to the monster that he becomes.
None of his items got nerfed, so he also has that going for him.
Yeah, that's true.
As Yopaj is baiting the Centaur, but they are not anywhere close to that. Instead, they're going to shut down Theolacor top, who was taking a lot of farm priority up here since Arteezy doesn't want to sit here trying to work towards a blink, but they're not going to let you sit here forever, as Viper will eventually push your lane in, take your tower. Last hit two, none of them. Oops. Good job, team.
Mage Slayer and Dragonlance is the build-up for Miro. We've got the Vessel now complete for Yopaj, but he needs charges. See if he goes the Midas now or the Witchblade. Last time he played this, he went Vessel Witchblade.
This is a hard go. You just don't have the Vessel charge. Again, really tanky target.
Oh, the arrow slips right on past both Theolacor and Yopaj. Dave was looking for a toss up in the air, and he finally got it on the Bat Rider, so he traded his life out for an opposing support. Saberlight slowed down quite a bit. Nightfall's going to close the gap and hit the stun. They'll run him down. Saberlight, it's just, you're tanky, but they don't really lack in damage when you got Timbersaw, Sven, Viper.
And Nightfall happy to collect some extra bounties here. You do get the Vessel charges for Yopaj, but you pay a heavy price. And we see how slow it is for them to go in there. Mage Slayer Viper is also going to remove a lot of the spell damage. You can just hit a couple of these heroes, remove the bat damage, remove the Rubik damage, Invoker damage. Very obnoxious item this game, despite the nerfs. Just really good versus what Shopify Rebellion are trying to do in these early fights.
Radiant are scanning.
Maelstrom finally done here. Man, this is slow. You were down 8K at 15.
Yeah, if Shopify makes another comeback off of a bad laning phase, this one is going to be miraculous almost.
That should help.
This game is getting out of control very quickly. Versus a team that is not just going to throw it back too often.
When you're down like this, I have no doubt that Shopify absolutely feels it.
I order ice cream.
You just order ice cream?
Always cheers me up.
Okay.
That's a trick, by the way. When you're on that 5-loss streak, 6-loss streak, think it can't get worse, so you re-queue and then you lose 8 in a row. Just eat some ice cream.
You know what's funny? You said order ice cream. I was going to ask you, what move are you looking for on Shopify?
Yeah.
You say order ice cream, and I'm thinking to myself, if you order it now, it might be here by the time the game's done.
Exactly. You die, all right. You hit up the Uber Eats right now, put in a couple pints, and you can have a couple pints with the lads.
Where's Tsunami?
Are scanning.
Miro going to work on another tier 1 tower, knowing that nobody really wants to challenge him. Not the Mage Slayer Viper, not with magic damage at least, and that's really all they have right now.
Radiant's middle tower
Does not feel like they're in any position to just assail this Viper. This matchup's really tough for Bloodseeker. You just have to run in and man fight him. You're getting broken.
Yeah, the break is the really rough part, right?
Yeah, that break is guaranteed now. Maybe looking for Nightfall. He's on the deeper side. And the Midas does get done for Yopaj, so he got some of that recovery farm. These Invokers tend to do.
Radiant's top tower
At least get some GPM going. You're bringing this lead down a little bit. You're invading areas. Good deep wards for Shopify as well. If you can use them here, the Moonlight Shadow is going to help bypass it, kick you out. Though, if you look at these dire obs, they're in very good positions to go back to.
Yeah.
2 really good jungle cliff obs. Just seeing everything right now.
Okay, so they kind of had some rotations to top. I thought maybe they would make a sweep to bottom. I mean, surely, when you're rocking Invoker, Centaur, Bloodseeker, you can't just play off of killing creeps, right? I feel like these heroes need to get kills.
I mean, if you think Yopaj is the greatest miracle player on the planet, and he's going to 1v9 that shit.
Greatest miracle player?
That's right.
Invoker and Miracle are so synonymous in your brain, you made a Freudian slip?
No, I said what I said.
Okay. Do I think Yopaj is the greatest Invoker player in the world? If he wins this game, if he carries this game, I'll say yes.
That's the thing, though. I feel like you can win any game with Invoker.
Why?
Because it's Invoker.
Go on.
It 1v9 that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some heroes in Dota I think always give you a chance to win. Invoker's one of them. I think Tinker is another. I think the big AoE spells are another in the right game. Black Hole, Chronosphere, like Faceless Void, I think is up there.
Yeah.
Enigma is usually up there, though obviously if Enigma's a game where Black Hole's not reliable, okay, it goes out the window.
Yeah, man.
But in the games it is, like, you just never know, right? You always have a chance. I think Invoker's in that category. You can always just outplay people in the ultra late game with Refresher and Hex and Invoker with 8 Meteors and 30 Tornadoes and 6 keyboards going at once. Anything can happen. They're going to gank Nightfall, post pause. He'll be very upset if he dies here.
2,300 HP. Can they cut through all
Assemble
that?
the BKB. Get the hell out.
Yeah, that was an impressive amount of magic damage, but it still didn't really come that close to killing Nightfall.
Okay, but what if we do it again?
Yeah.
They'll never expect
If
this.
one gank wasn't enough, what about 2 ganks?
Yeah, they actually got him. I think this will be enough.
That was the best of both worlds there.
Yeah.
They ganked him a second time, got him to use his BKB, but he still died.
Really heads up call. Looked like it was Yopaj kind of gunning for it there. Like, I mean, he's low. Why not go for him? They get the BKB, they get the death. That was the first BKB charge as well. Big find on the map. It's just space for Tiny to get that blink, so the initiation power is now there for BetBoom. You're holding a shield rune on the Timber, so they are more than ready to take a fight. Probably even without the Sven, honestly. They want to sort of start to set it up now. And a lot of that, again, was that deep obs that Toronto Tokyo clears through now. Those deep wards stayed up a very long time for Shopify Abilene and eventually pays off a bit. You're still concerned about the farm rates here, but again, you keep finding a couple of big pickoffs. Maybe you can contest that Roshan as BetBoom are going to try and find something with this tiny blink. Close the map out a bit. Stolen Avalanche, also really big in this game. That is a nice one.
Pushing through to mid. Shopify being pretty defensive. Seems like they know some sort of aggressive move is coming their way.
They're farming the map right now. I'm surprised Save isn't just going in here. This is the best target.
They see the spells and they got him. Toss back into the team. Hit him with the arrow, too. Nicely played combo right there. Something that could be a little difficult to execute sometimes, coordinate that one. But if you get it, I mean, it's fantastic, right? Reposition the hero and they're chain stunned.
And there was a nice avalanche behind the Invoker, so we caught the Rubik too. No chance for a lift or avalanche interrupt on the Tiny. That would have saved Yopaj there. Nice find by Save. Return the favor. And the BKBs are flowing in now, so you have both of them up on your big frontliners.
He does have BKB up again, but they got him off of the lasso, and now that he is... he's turning back around. Okay, they still got him.
That was a little spooky, but...
It was a little tad bit spooky, but...
That is a combo that's going to be pretty good this game. This Rupture Lasso drag.
Yeah.
Especially if you get a 4-staff later. It's a lot of guaranteed damage. There's no saves or dispels on this BetBoom lineup. So this Batrider should have a pretty good game in theory. He can just go on any of these cores, drag them. What's your counterplay? Throw out an arrow, Greaves the guy?
Yeah. They got a couple other positioning abilities as well, right? They got like Deafening Blast, Telekinesis. A lot of little small things that can synergize with the Rupture.
I like it though. Forcing reaction, though Saberlight dies, a little less good. BetBoom were ready for it. But again, they're just trying to create space while the ults are on cooldown. Get something going. Pushed it a little too far, you pay the price. Toronto Tokyo, he's a good player, so he gets a tip as well.
Toronto Tokyo. I was like, did I see that right? Yeah, he all chatted ...
He's feeling it today, man. Feisty. This is what happens when your games get paused a couple times.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, tip him back, tip him back, tip him back. Yeah.
I mean, the Tormentor is a good player. He's a very good player.
Wait, I remember this now. We talked about it. He came on the podcast. He had beef with Toronto Tokyo. Toronto Tokyo told him he was going to smash him on LAN. He said he was like, you know.
Yeah, these two do have beef.
You stepped, like, you know.
Oh, this is spicy, actually. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. Though, to be honest, if Toronto Tokyo could have tipped himself, he might have tipped himself there.
yeah.
I don't know if Saberlight had much to do with that, but he'll take it. Yeah, this is a grudge match. We're going to get a replay of this. Like, what is he thinking here, by the way? He walks up to a full HP Tormentor with like 300 HP. I guess that's what he's thinking. I am God incarnate. Hey guys, watch me solo this Tormentor from 400. Yeah.
You guys can't kill me. Only the Tormentor can.
Radiant's
Free
middle
trip to
tower
base
is under
calculated.
attack.
Free Roshan calculated. Instantly sunstruck by Yopaj off the scan. Map hack.
Yeah,
back.
they're so far away, though.
Top tower is under attack.
Can't do anything about this one, so they aggressively push in all the lanes. BetBoom still have some heroes out on the map, though, so can't actually take any towers, it seems like.
And this is... It goes back to that game, if you remember, I complained about the 5-man Roche taking when you didn't need to.
Radiant's
It's a
middle
big deal
tower
because
is
just
under
having two
attack.
heroes mid means, let's say somebody shows mid, save can instantly go on them and you can TP the rest of the team in. And you're already looking for the next play. You're threatening heroes on the map. You're not letting them get that extra weight. These things add up. It's a way you're increasing the net worth advantage over time that makes a difference down the road when you're going to try and go high ground in a game that is not necessarily the easiest high ground.
I think the two heroes they left out on the map are pretty important too, right? Like the Timbersaw, you just can't go on this guy, so he can, you know, hold the tower or something like that. And they also have the other heroes their catch, right? So if you finish Roshan and he sees an opportunity like they're trying to push a tower, Tiny can jump and initiate that team fight while his allies TP in.
I mean, I would look at it more as the catch and the damage. I actually think they can go on GPK this game. If they're willing to bring everybody and do this lasso rupture into Sunstrike Vessel,
Yeah.
I think anybody dies to that. But you have to be willing to commit the entire arsenal, which again, you're giving up a lot to make that play that may or may not work, which they know as well, and they're just going to push it. And right now, it's all BetBoom taking control. Saw some good plays from Theola Court, but he just wasn't in a position to snowball this game as fast as he wanted, and this map's getting closed out.
Dire's top tower is under
Oh, Yopaj.
Oh, they immediately started searching for him.
that dust. That almost clipped him.
They found Arteezy, though. Arteezy has to use his BKB and even use his Rupture on Nightfall.
Scatter
Radiant's
like
top
rats
tower
to the
is
wind.
under attack.
Live to fight another day.
Well, Kitrak may not live.
Middle tower is under attack.
They do still have everybody else up,
Dire's middle
and everybody
tower
else is
under
farming
attack.
something, I guess, so.
Do you think Dota2 should have the ability for players to pause a match on LAN and actually fight each other, like in hockey?
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, I think there should be rights to
Radiant's
mutual
bottom
combat in
tower
Dota
is
2.
under attack.
I agree. I think that should be the next patch.
Dire's middle
Like, it
tower
doesn't change the game at all. It just adds
Dire's structures
an IRL arena function.
Yeah. Like maybe there is some sort of, like, both players have to all chat something at some point in time.
Yeah, and then they lock you in a room and you both fight each other and come back.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
You know, just you know, like similar to hockey, like you're saying, just, you know, a couple of back and forth punches, but nothing that's really going to debilitate
Yeah.
anybody, right?
Tower.
I mean, no knives or anything.
I mean, I wouldn't trust Dota players, though. I feel like Dota players fight dirty.
Dire's top tower
14K.
has fallen.
Age is still up.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Don't think you want to force the high ground too early in this game, though. It is
Dire's middle tower
would be
is
very
under
easy to throw into this lasso, rupture, invoker defense, unless you find that toss back. I think BetBoom are more than content to close out the map. Oh, Saberlight.
Up.
Sees Toronto Tokyo.
He's got another leap coming up soon. Saberlight's not going to catch him. And now Moonlight Shadow right back. Miro, can he get close enough to get a slow on Yopaj? And And the rest of the team, well, the BKB is a problem. They do have detection on him. BKB lasts a while. They get in front of him. The arrow's coming and lands. Toronto, Tokyo from downtown. Snipes Yopaj.
+1 as well off save finding, and that is a broken high ground. Now you have this opportunity to force it. You still have the God Strength active or available. Saberlight does not connect on his nemesis here.
Tower is under attack.
It's been a tough game for Shopify as BetBoom have just not given them many openings. A couple of things in the laning phase with the tri-lane that was cheeky, but outside of that, it's been all BetBoom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're making it known. Toronto, Tokyo
Has fallen.
currently has his hand hovering over the tip hotkey.
Oh, got a lasso down. Oh, Jesus. Nightfall is right behind that tier 2 tower. I thought maybe that would be an okay position to fight. TP out from GPK. Brilliant move there. And now it leaves Arteezy without a way to heal, and he's just cut down by Viper. Man, this matchup's no fair.
Such an awkward fight. It's originally Theolacor surviving, then maybe you can turn, you get the Rupture Timber, you are around a tier 2. These TPs are in a pretty good position, but you don't have that Invoker BKB to play with, and the Rupture target just TPs out. The second you get broken here on this Bloodseeker, that matchup just sucks. There is no way around it. Straight back into the high ground. Satanic done for Nightfall. 4,000 HP. God Strength coming back up in 10 seconds. It's going to be back up before you're alive here. That is brutal.
Do you still have faith, Avery?
Dire's middle barracks.
In what?
Still believe that Yopaj can carry this game? Look, I'll take that silence as a no.
In a million simulations, does he win one of them? I'd say that's almost guaranteed.
Okay.
Now, do I think this is that first simulation?
I mean, Dota Plus would agree with you because they're saying in 100 simulations, Shopify would win 2 of them. But it is looking dark out here for Shopify Rebellion in this opening game of this series.
There's just too many problems to solve,
Yeah.
honestly. You get this last pick Viper to shut down the Bloodseeker that's supposed to be shutting down the other cores, and I don't know, man. You have to worry about this toss-in that can start fights on BetBoom's terms. Moonlight Shadow to give you vision advantage.
Do you think Bloodseeker is an appropriate counter to Sven, given the fact that Sven can get Aghanim Scepter?
I think it's okay if the Bloodseeker has a good game.
Yeah.
But if Sven has a free game, then I mean, no, right? But I don't think this is a prohibitive matchup.
Radiant
I was just curious what you thought, like draft-wise.
Bloodseeker can do a lot of magical, the Shard's extra pure damage. He can chunk a Sven. Rupture is also very annoying for that hero, even with the Ags, but it is really dependent on who's having a better game. And as we've seen here, one of those is better than the other. The smoke breaks.
Break up, break. They go
That
for the
is
Viper.
not
That's
the
not a
target.
great target. Immediately pops BKB, Stampede. The rest of Shopify sitting there going, Stabilite, I don't know if we can go on this, man. You jumped on hit a Viper. Now they are going to be able to get the Rupture, but pulled back in by the Harpoon. Chased after the lasso. Tries to buy Arteezy a bit of space, but if it's not the Sven, it's the Viper. And you're right, this was not the simulation.
Close, says Toronto Tokyo. He is very happy with his Game 1 performance versus his